Sorry, I had to vote. Now we see the 4 cameras and all boards on screen, the handshakes, the games are getting underway. Why don't we start with this Nepo versus Alireza matchup? And I do really want to hear your thoughts.
Well, this game I think is going to be fire. That's what I'm expecting because Nepo won the last 2 candidates tournaments. So obviously he has all the right to think so, that people are afraid of him. Or people might think that definitely he's one of the favorite of the event because he's very serious. He's very well prepared. He takes it extremely seriously, the event. I know how frustrated he was. I was talking to him after his match against Ding Liren.
Falls, the game is completely over. So I'm here just thinking what unbelievable defense from Gukesh throughout this game. I think many of us, especially myself, who liked Prague's opening choice, would have crumbled at the sight of that pawn on e6, but not Gukesh, at least not yet. He continues to play excellent chess, grabbing that e6 pawn at long last. And Judith, I think we can all officially say that with that pawn gone, I think Prague's chances are also more or less out the window.
Yes, without e6 pawn, with the piece down, with the rook on b7 defending the 7th rank, with the great bishop pair for black, it seems like there is not a real chance to save the game for Prague. Of course, he will be playing out all the way the time control because you always fight until the very end. But the way Gukesh was fighting and defending, it's... well, the only thing I can say, it's an excellent work.
And Gukesh is known as being a very sturdy, capable defender, and he started 8 out of 8 in the Olympiad in 2022 in Chennai. He was only 15 at the time, so he's just a youngster on the rise. And well, I want to note that Jan Nepomniachtchi and Alireza Firouzja have hit time control. They gain 30 minutes per side, so that game will continue. Whereas this one, I mean, Gukesh, he is thinking he's down under 2 minutes, but Prague is down to 41 seconds himself. If we note that the time is not on Prague's side, but he is trying to go after the Black King. So, David, the rook took on f2. Do we think that after the king gets out of dodge, anything can go wrong for Gukesh? I'm just not seeing it.
I don't see it. It feels like discovered checks are a big issue here, but also a big threat of rook back to f5, hitting the white queen, hitting the white knight. It's collapsed. I think this is the last few moves of this game. I don't think Prague will even reach move 40. Just lost control. Great competition. And ultimately, it came down to having no time and handshake. It is Gukesh who wins the battle of the youngsters.
That was a deserved victory for Gukesh. He wins with the black pieces. So our second game won by a player with the black pieces. He joins his compatriot Vidit Gujrathi. This is going to hurt for Praggnanandhaa. Magnus Carlsen, the world #1 player, the former world champion, he said that he thought Prague was the more stable of these two and that he would have a strong event. But Gukesh, I think his variance is his strength. The fact that he can go on winning streaks, that allows him a good opportunity to win the candidates. And sometimes that will mean you have a minus score in these super strong tournaments. But here and now, Gukesh is a co-leader. Judith, how impressed were you by Gukesh and his ability to stave off that pressure?
I was very impressed, to tell you the truth, because he was there. First of all, there was a psychological shock that Praggnanandhaa was playing, blitzing out his preparation, giving up one pawn, which is very normal in this system. Then he sacrificed another pawn, the d pawn, and then the third one came, which was not taken actually. It was just offered. It was very difficult to play it with Black. Black had a big time problem for some time because obviously he was spending lots of time. So maybe at one point it was nearly 1 hour advantage for Praggnanandhaa. So everything was standing pretty much for Prague, even though he did not have a big advantage or real advantage necessarily. But to have 2 pawns down and the position is roughly equal and you have your own preparation